Welcome to Latest News Blaster. If you want daily real celebrity news, subscribe now. At 71, John Travolta's goodbye is leaving fans in shock, not because of a sudden tragedy or a dramatic announcement of retirement, but because of the quiet, reflective, deeply emotional way in which the Hollywood icon has begun to frame the next chapter of his life, prompting widespread conversation across entertainment media, fan communities, and social platforms about what his words truly mean and what he may be stepping away from. For more than 5 decades, Travolta has been a constant presence in popular culture, evolving from a teen idol to a serious, dramatic actor, from box office powerhouse to a symbol of resilience in the face of personal loss. And now, at an age when many legends choose either to disappear or to cling desperately to the spotlight, he appears to be choosing something different. A graceful, thoughtful goodbye to certain parts of the life that defined him. Sources close to the actor and recent public appearances suggest that this goodbye is not a farewell to life itself, nor even necessarily to acting as a whole, but rather a symbolic closing of a chapter that began in the 1970s when a young, charismatic performer burst onto television screens in Welcome Back, Kotter, and quickly danced his way into global superstardom with Saturday Night Fever and Grease. Fans who grew up watching Travolta transform disco culture into cinematic history are now grappling with the reality that the man who once embodied youthful energy and rebellion is openly reflecting on mortality, legacy, and the importance of stepping back, a shift that has struck an emotional chord with audiences who feel as though they've aged alongside him. In recent interviews and social media messages, Travolta has spoken with unusual candor about gratitude, remembrance, and the importance of living fully in the present, language that many interpret as a gentle farewell to the relentless pace of Hollywood rather than a definitive exit. Yet the tone alone has been enough to send shockwaves through his fan base. This reaction is rooted not just in what he is saying now, but in everything he has survived to reach this moment, including the devastating loss of his son Jet in 2009, the passing of his wife Kelly Preston in 2020 after a private battle with illness, and the intense public scrutiny that followed him for decades as both a megastar and a deeply private individual. Travolta's life has unfolded under a microscope, and yet his most painful moments were often handled with dignity and restraint, earning him admiration even from those who were not necessarily fans of his films. That history gives weight to every word he chooses now, making even the simplest expression of reflection feel monumental. Industry observers note that Travolta's recent career choices have also shifted, with fewer high-profile studio projects and more selective personal work, signaling a man who is no longer chasing validation, but instead honoring his own sense of fulfillment. To many fans, this feels like a goodbye to the era of John Travolta as a constant fixture of blockbuster cinema, a farewell to the expectation that he will always be there, always working, always reinventing himself on the world's biggest stages. Yet there is also a sense of peace in this transition, as Travolta has emphasized family, especially his role as a father, as his greatest priority, making it clear that the time he now treasures most is time away from cameras, red carpets, and industry noise. This perspective has resonated deeply with audiences who see in him a reflection of their own lives, their own aging, and their own shifting priorities, which may explain why his goodbye feels so personal to so many people. Social media has been flooded with tributes, memories, and messages of gratitude, with fans sharing how Travolta's films soundtracked their youth, comforted them during difficult times, or inspired them to pursue dance, acting, or simply the courage to be unapologetically themselves. Critics and fellow actors alike have weighed in, describing Travolta as one of the last true movie stars, a performer whose charisma could carry a film regardless of genre, and whose willingness to take risks, from Pulp Fiction to Hairspray, kept his career dynamic long after many of his contemporaries faded from relevance. The shock surrounding his goodbye also reflects a broader cultural moment in which audiences are coming to terms with the aging of the icons who defined late 20th century entertainment, a reminder that time moves forward even for those who once seemed timeless. Travolta's journey, marked by extraordinary highs and unimaginable lows, stands as a testament to endurance, making his current reflections feel less like an ending and more like a culmination. Still, the language of goodbye carries emotional weight, especially when it comes from someone whose presence has felt so enduring, and fans are left wondering what exactly lies ahead. Will he fully retire, make occasional appearances, or pivot toward mentorship, producing, or other creative pursuits behind the scenes? Travolta has not offered definitive answers, and perhaps that ambiguity is intentional, allowing him the freedom to move forward without the pressure of public expectation. What is clear is that his goodbye is not born of bitterness or regret, but of gratitude, acceptance, and a desire to live authentically on his own terms. A message that has struck a powerful chord in an industry often obsessed with youth and reinvention at any cost. As John Travolta stands at 71, reflecting on a life lived loudly, painfully, joyfully, and very publicly, his goodbye feels less like a door slamming shut and more like a soft closing of a curtain after a long, remarkable performance, leaving the audience standing, applauding, and grappling with the bittersweet realization that an era, while not entirely over, is gently, unmistakably changing.